First set up the camera a little bit better. There we go. I think we're ready to go. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Sainamont, and today I'm going to show you how to draw some yokai. So some Japanese mythology characters or creatures. And yeah, let's get started. So the first one I want to draw is called an Umidebito, which is like a mermaid that lives in a shell. And so this one's actually good luck. Let me see if I can zoom in. First, I'm gonna just tell you about the Kickstarter campaign. Please follow the Chubbicorn Kickstarter campaign. The link is in the bio. I'm excited to get that going soon. All right, here we go. You know what? I should probably have a light on too. Let me get better lighting here. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Better lighting. Here we go. It's a little better, kind of. Okay, so we're gonna draw this this character Umidebito, which is going to be like I said, a mermaid that lives in a shell. And this one is considered good luck because she appears very rarely, and she's been known to warn people or sailors, whoever has the privilege to find her, and who sees her gets to be warned of famine or war or disease. And as long as they see her and draw pictures of her, and whoever has a picture displayed in their house gets to be protected. So it's an interesting, like, it can go viral, like you can basically have a character that is drawn or depicted multiple times, as many times as possible. Once the sailor gets the word out that, if people believe the sailor and then put pictures of her around their house or just one picture or something, then they get protection, which is kind of cool. All right, so we're gonna draw. I'm gonna have her hand up to her mouth, and she's gonna be calling out, telling her, basically her, her prophecy to the sailor that's witnessing it. And I plan on having this character as a part of the Chubbicorn series. But I think she'll be more associated with Beach Wizard because she is of the ocean and he's the most associated with the ocean. So I'm going to draw her hair, kind of like she's depicted as having kind of spiky hair, and I wonder if just because of the salty seawater. Hello, Ngozi Muoka and Bomba Clot. Good morning. But yeah, her hair is spiky, I think because of the sea, ocean water or something. So I'm gonna have 3 spiky bangs that come up like this. And this is like my version of this character, so it's not, if you look this character up, I'll write the name down. She'll appear differently. So it's just kind of like my version of how I would show her in my series. And I want her to be like kind of a gossip character. So she's like, rather than being all serious, I want her to be just spreading kind of like just gossip about things. And then Beach Wizard, I don't know if he's going to take her seriously or not, but or maybe no one else does, but he does. So that'll be a fun. I want to make a comic just of Beach Wizard, actually. I think I will. He has so much potential as just a standalone character. Okay, so now here's her shell. So she does, what's funny about this character is that it comes out of the shell in reverse. So you would think, like when you think of a sea snail or some mollusk, their head would come out the other side. But in this case, she comes out like kind of upside down from this shell. So that's how she's depicted in the folklore. And then I'll have her just kind of floating on top of the water as also she's depicted, like the shell kind of, even though she lives deep in the ocean, she is shown kind of like bobbing, like as if the shell can become buoyant. And hello, Jan Cole. Good morning. And yeah, so let me write her name down. You guys can like check this character out. Umidebito. So this is a yokai that has to do with the ocean and telling of famine or danger. And if you pay attention and heed her warning, then you will be spared. And also, if you tell people to draw her picture and display the picture in your house, you will also be spared. So you guys are spared seeing her this morning. This is a little good luck charm for you. So that's nice. So all this in the darkness of all of our world going on, it's a nice little good luck charm to have. Okay, so that is Umidebito. And then, hello, Tony. I'm gonna draw a next one, and this one's really random. But I like what I like about yokai is that they depict such interesting everyday objects sometimes, or I would say objects that are typically not interesting, but they become interesting. So this one, it represents a rice kettle. That this is probably some historic rice kettle. Now, by the way, I want to point you guys to this really cool website. I'm gonna tell you about this site. I love this website. It's called yokai.com, and it is an excellent collection of as many. This person is collecting yokai like weekly, like just documenting them. This person has, it's a free website, but I think they have a Patreon. But I love using the site. I love clicking the random feature and just seeing what I come up with. In fact, if you are a former student of mine, you may remember we did a yokai project where you make your own yokai. And I spent weeks using yokai.com coming up with or coming up with things to draw, showing my students, just like I'm doing right now. We would do daily drawings, art starts. So hello, Jazzy. Welcome to the chat. But we did a lot of these yokai where I would kind of talk about them, but they all came from my source of yokai.com. So I highly recommend that site. It's really fun to look at and see what all the yokai are. All right, so we have he's got these like really, these arms are very skinny and ropey, like muscular, but like a lean muscle, just kind of a demon-looking muscle structure with big spidery hands. And this yokai just represents a steaming kettle, a rice kettle. But there's instead of, he's got like a bearded, oh, somebody's at the door. I think my wife just came back walking our dog. That's the fun of a live stream, right? You get to hear a little bit of fun background sounds. Anyway, this one represents a rice kettle, and when it like gets hot, it starts to, you know how like if you've ever like steamed something, when it gets overheated, it'll start to make that like high pitch squealing sound. And I guess old fashioned rice cookers nowadays are pretty quiet. You'll just kind of hear like a little hissing, but I guess in the old days they used to make like a whistling sound, like if you're boiling tea or something or boiling a kettle. And so thank you for the happy poop. It's your girl. And so we're gonna do that was funny, a golden happy poop. I wonder if there's a poop yokai. I'm sure there's something there. I know there's one like that. There's like the toilet liquor one that like is supposed to inspire people to keep their bathrooms clean because it will come in and kind of like create chaos in a dirty bathroom. All right, so this one has these spidery limbs, and then it has oh, did I say hi to Jazzy? I think I said hi to Jazzy, and it's your girl. Hello, both of you. Welcome. So there's this bearded body, and then it has this little like loincloth, and then like these demon-like skinny muscular legs that come out. So just like these really skinny legs with really skinny two-toed feet. And now this one, my son's borrowing my computer, but I had the legend up on this one. If you stand like a certain number of centimeters from this kettle when it starts to like go in flames and start to scream stuff, if you say a certain word, then the flames go away, the demon leaves the kettle, and then the flames go under your house, apparently, and then it gives your house good luck or something. So let me write the name of it down. You guys can look this one up. It's called a Narigama. let me see here. So Narigama is the name of this yokai. But there's two more things I need to add, and I'll add them in red. We have the flames, so two flames coming on either side of this steaming kettle head. It's like an iron helmet. And so I love Japanese flames. The art of the flames are really, really cool. They kind of branch up like this, and then they kind of fork out like this, and they have this really nice wavy pattern. So there's a flame coming off um, the head. Why does it say message held for review? Hold on, let me see. Oh, yeah, I guess. I don't. So ID 111. I don't know if you can translate that. I don't know those characters, but if you could tell me what the English translation is. Let me see if. Oh, here, I'll show this one. I'll show your comment. There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna have these swirling flames coming up, and then we're actually drawing yokai today. So I'm just kind of going through some yokai that I like and I found, um, and just I love yokai because they represent a lot of everyday stuff, and they inspire people to maybe have better habits. So like cleaning, a bathroom, and so anyway, Narigama. There you go. All right, next I want to show you a very derpy one, another good luck yokai that I really like. This is called a Hime Uo. So let me write the name up top. You guys can look up later. Hime Uo, which means princess fish. Oh, thank you, the eggs. I appreciate that. So we're going to draw the Hime Uo as the princess fish, which is like another version of a mermaid, but you'll just see it's really just a funny, like mostly it's just a human head and a fish body. So we have this human head here. We're going to draw like maybe where her eyes and the center of her face are. And then we're going to draw the fish body coming out the back. And I like making it just a short fish that's, again, just floating on top of the water. And this is mostly how it was depicted on yokai.com. So we have this kind of chubby short fish. So there's the fish-like body. She has a tail, and the tail contains swords. So I'm going to do like a couple of little gaps in the tail and draw these like spiky blades that represent swords. And so the number of swords can vary based on this particular character. But like, man, like such a creative, random, interesting thing, having swords built into a tail like that. And then we have the her eyes. We'll just draw her eyes here along that eye line. And I will draw her like eyelids and lashes. And then a nose, like a human nose. And then little pouty lips. And then eyebrows. And then we'll draw, she has bangs. And she's stylish. But this is probably the historic hairstyle of the time in Japan. So she has flowing hair that goes down the fish body like this and just kind of spreads along her back. And then I'm going to just draw right along the back there. So she has some spikes, and then she has a little bit of hair coming out on the other side, like that. And then horns. Oddly enough, she has two horns coming off the top of her head. And then we have little tiny flippers that are just kind of like going out on either side, which I think is kind of funny. Like she's like just kind of two little flippers. And then her body goes in the water, just like she's like kind of floating on top of the water. And then she has like belly scales. So looks kind of almost like reptilian belly scales right here. And then she has a fin on her back. And sometimes she's depicted as having jewels that are along her back. So I'll draw a couple little jewels here that are just built into her hair and her back. And then scales. So we have scales going down. So this is a Hime Uo, which is a princess fish. And again, she is similar to our Umidebito. She is a, oh, I forgot to draw her hands, her fingers. I gotta draw her fingers right here real quick. Okay. They are both prophetic, like mermaid yokai that will warn whoever views them, or sailors, of danger, whether it's famine or disease or war. And if the sailor listens and views them, if they just spot them, then they will be protected, they'll be spared. But they also have to go and spread the word about these characters, and if people depict pictures of them in their house, then they're also spared. All right, so there's a Hime. Well, now I want to show you just the most famous and well-known yokai, and that's the Kappa. So maybe I'll do a little Kappa next to our Narigama. Do a Kappa like right here. So little Kappa is Kappas are simultaneously one of the cutest and most endearing yokai, but also one of the scariest at the same time, which makes them really interesting characters, depending on how they're depicted. They were originally depicted as these little river demons, river and lake demons, that were told to children, if you go too close to the river or lake, a Kappa will basically take you under. And let me see if I can focus real quick. Hold on. See if I can focus the camera. Okay, it was just kind of blurring out. But if you go too close to the river or lake, then these little creatures will drag you under, disembowel you, and eat you. So it was kind of a fearful character at first, but then over time, their reputation softened, and then they just became known as little tricksters. So they would just, play pranks and tricks on people. And they have this unique feature. They're like half turtle, half frog. And they have this feature that you can see it here on the top of their head. I'll draw like a little tuft of green hair, and there's a little hollow spot, or like a little bowl shape in the top of their head that holds water. And the legend has it that if you can bow to one, if you see one, it'll be obliged to bow back to you. And when it does that, it will empty out its water, which is like its life force, and it'll either die or become powerless. And then it also becomes like subservient to you. So it'll swear allegiance and friendship with you if you outsmart it by doing that. So I'm going to draw its legs here. So he's going to be like crouching with his big webbed feet. So again, it's half frog, half turtle kind of creature. But also they've been depicted as like human looking as well. And I'm going to draw a little like claws hanging over the feet. So like it's just waiting by a river or something. They're very clumsy on land, but they're very adept in the water. And if you know about sushi, Kappa maki is the sushi. The cucumber roll is named after Kappa, because Kappa, in addition to human innards, their other favorite food is cucumbers. All right, so this is our little Kappa dude, and I'm just gonna write Kappa on the top. All right, let's move on now to another yokai. This one is actually in the Chubbicorn story. So this one is called a Nurikabe, but I drew him in my style, just like I did, similar to the Umidebito. Like this is how she'll appear in the comic later on. I'm gonna have this Nurikabe. His name is Wally because he's basically a living wall. So we're gonna start with kind of like an eraser shape. So this eraser, if you think about it like a big, or like a, I don't know, like a binder or a book shape. So he's this big rectangular prism shape. Let's try to make him kind of 3Ds, having these angled lines here and here. And then we'll start dividing up the segments of his body. So he has a shirt. He wears a collared shirt. So collared shirt like this goes inexplicably. I don't know how you would wear a collared shirt on a character of this form, but it works. All right, collared shirt there. It's kind of like SpongeBob, though, if you think about it. I think maybe that's another inspiration, that SpongeBob SquarePants shape, where you have the shirt and shorts. So maybe that, I guess that was like a inspiration I'm just realizing right now. He has a little hat on top. Yeah, he's looking very much like SpongeBob. But also, he's very different in demeanor. He's very peaceful. He's very derpy, as I tend to draw. He doesn't mean any harm, but he gets in the way because that's his nature. So there's his little face. He has little sleeves coming out of his shirt, and I'm just gonna have his little 3 fingers like that. Other sleeve over here, hands coming down like this, and then his legs are little cylinders. He has little shorts on. Yeah, this character is very much like SpongeBob, but also different enough. I think it's different enough. What do you guys think? Think SpongeBob company's gonna come after me with a cease and desist? I don't think so. When you see him in the comic, I think I have the comic posted. When I see the Chubblecorn comic, he is not the little trickster that SpongeBob is. He's a very innocent. Well, SpongeBob's innocent too. Oh man, I don't know. You be the judge. But anyway, this is based on the Nurikabe. So he's just a living wall. So I'll draw his name. I'll write his name right here. Nurikabe. So Nurikabe, the legend goes, they are the feeling that you get when you are walking on a path and you suddenly feel tired. That means you're passing through or encountering a Nurikabe. So it's relatable. Like if you have a long walk, if you're on a long hike, or if you're walking home from work or from school and you just feel exhausted, the legend has it that you are walking through a Nurikabe or you're coming into the realm of a Nurikabe. Like they're standing, spiritually in your way. Yeah, he's like Ice Bob. That's true, Adam. All right, next I'm gonna draw. This one is really cool. I just discovered this one this morning. I was doing a little bit of pre-research of these just to give you guys some good info. This one is a Namija, which translates to wave snake. So this one is going to be, I'm going to draw like swirling lines first. So we're going to draw this really cool elemental wave snake. And I think I want to make this to my version of this later in the someday when I do a Beach Wizard comic. Because I think Beach Wizard would be a fun story. So it's this wavy snake-like thing, but it's all made out of water. And unfortunately, as far as the legend goes, there's not much known about these. They just appear in artwork, but they don't have really a story associated to them. So when I see that, I think, hey, clean slate. I can give this character a personality, or or just make it maybe just kind of a monstrous character that terrorizes Beach Wizard. So the wave snake, the only physical thing that I've seen is that it has an eye that is covered. The water is like its eyebrow, and then it has just a lot of swirling lines, like so these waves, these like really cool wave shapes. I love Japanese art in the way that it shows flames and air and all the elements. It's got this really beautiful like flow to it. It's good to study. That's why it's such a popular like tattoo theme. There's a whole genre of tattoos that are Japanese style tattoos. All right, now we're gonna draw some arms on this wave snake. So like has like cresting wave arms. I know it's a snake and has arms. It is kind of dragon-like in that sense, but the translation is wave snake. So we have some arms kind of coming off the side, and then maybe another one on the depiction that I saw on Yokai.com. I saw one arm that actually came from the ocean, so it's like disembodied. It's kind of cool, like it swirls down into the water. All right. I'm going to draw some bubbles just for good measure to mix up some of the textures, some drips of water coming off the hands, and maybe clean up some of these lines here. If I were to draw this in ink, I'd be able to clarify a lot of these details. All right, so we have, let me write the name down. Oh, actually, let me add a couple more counter waves here. I'm not doing these Japanese waves justice. They're so intricate, but have a really nice flow to them. And then there's like little like counter waves or little kind of swirls of water coming off the back and side. Okay, so I'm going to shade. I'm going to give a little bit of a pupil. Like the only physical thing, like I said on this, would be the eyeball. Everything else is just swirls of water drawn in a clever way that represents like a serpentine character or monster. So this is a Namija. Let me write it right here. And it translates to wave snake. All right, you guys. I think I have time for maybe one more yokai. This one is unfortunate. This is actually, I think, a true story. It's a yokai. It's on yokai.com. I found this one when I clicked the random button this morning. I'm going to do a new page for this one. Give this character his own page. This one is unfortunately translates to grotesque boy, and I think it was a character, a son of a very wealthy person, not a king, but a someone of stature. But he has this like kind of like balloon shaped head. He was born with no arms. Oh, thanks, Weird Dino. Yeah, I hate losing my glasses. That's the worst thing about losing glasses. You can't see, so you can't. It's harder to find them. You know, it's like it's the worst. Sorry you lost your glasses. Hope you find them. Yeah, he does look like an alien. Um, Olga, you're right. I hope I'm pronouncing all your names right, by the way. So he has like a little loincloth. But what's cool about this character is that the yokai part of this character, even though it probably depicts a real person, a real boy who was born with an unfortunate, missing lack of arms, the legend has it that he was able to spit out his soul in the form of like a little fireball. He was very adept at using his feet to open doors and windows. His family kept him locked away. They were ashamed of him. But one day, I think his mother went out to the forest and he was worried for her. So he spit out his soul that followed her through the woods, and she didn't know what was going on. She was kind of spooked out by it. And so she was protected. He protected her, but she didn't know what to think of it. And he also apparently had a super overheated body. And so when I draw his belly button, little paunch of his belly here. When I draw his nostrils, he was able to shoot flames out of his nose. So in addition to spitting out his soul, he had flaming nostrils. So again, this is like the legendary part. And I'm going to draw his little mouth the way it's depicted. So he has a, funny, interesting face. I don't want to I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he's a legend. So but it could be based on a true story, according to what yokai.com says. So here's his soul that's extending from his mouth, and it has this like soul flame. And then it's got this kind of wavy line that goes up to his mouth. So he's able to, sorry if you hear my son, he's playing video games right now. So, all right, he's got flames coming out of his nostrils like this. And, oh man, I'm sorry, Weird Dino. I hope you find your glasses. Yeah, my eyesight is, I notice I'm losing my nearsightedness. I used to be super nearsighted when, just because I've drawn so much of my life that I would always have my head really, really close to my paper or canvas when I was painting or drawing. But now I'm noticing that even my nearsightedness is kind of going away. I have a certain little sweet spot that I can see clearly, and then for distance I need glasses. But hopefully technology gets better and we're able to, LASIK is pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that someday. All right, you guys. So let me write the name of this character. So if you want to look this character up, it translates to Igyo. So the name is Igyo, the little dash above there. Igyo no danshi. And I believe it translates to grotesque boy. And that's, yeah, so that's it. Well, we have run out of time, but I want to just please ask that if you could do me a favor and go on Kickstarter. Link is in the bio. It's free to follow the Treble campaign. Once I get 100 people following the pre-launch, then I will launch the comic. So thank you, Weird Dino. But yeah, so please go there, help us out. It's free to follow the campaign. You get updates on behind the scenes on me, developing the project. You don't have to get the comic later. I just want to try to hit 100 people, showing that I have interest to launch it. So check that out. And yeah, thanks for joining me this morning, you guys. It was fun drawing all these fun yokai. And then check out yokai.com too. It's a really cool site to learn about, Japanese mythology and, practice drawing as well. Oh, interesting. Yeah, painting abstractly. Weird Dino. That's an idea. All right, you guys. That was fun. I will see you again next week. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.